All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to crack open the playbook that turns a simple app idea into a serious money-making machine. This is your guide to building and scaling a successful mobile app, and believe me, it is packed with some incredible insights. So let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the absolute core of this whole thing. How does an idea, something that just sparks in a teenager's mind, actually turn into a business that makes $1 million a month? It sounds like some kind of Silicon Valley myth, right? But nope, this is a real story with a very clear, very repeatable roadmap. The app we're going to be breaking down is called Cal AI. And listen, we're not talking about some one-time viral flash in the pan. We are talking about over $1 million in monthly recurring revenue. That right there, that's the holy grail for any sustainable business. So the real question is, how on earth did they pull it off?
So where did it all begin? Well, like a lot of the best ideas, it didn't start in some fancy boardroom. It started with a real-life problem. This is the story of the founder, Zach, and his $1 million spark.
You know, the idea for Cal AI wasn't born from a desire to get rich or famous. It actually came from this moment of pure panic at a family get-together when a relative with a severe nut allergy had a real scare. Zach realized just how incredibly difficult and stressful it is to get fast, trustworthy information about what's actually in our food. And that very personal problem, that became his mission. But look, having a great mission is just step one. The way they first built this app, well, it almost killed the whole project before it even got started. And that brings us to maybe the most important part of this whole story, the huge tech pivot they had to make. Okay, so here was mistake number one, and it was a big one. The first version of the app sent every single photo of food up to some third-party cloud to get analyzed. Now, on the surface, that sounds easy, right? But it created these three massive problems. It was crazy expensive, with costs that would just spiral out of control. It was super slow, which creates a terrible user experience. And honestly, it raised some serious privacy flags. This path was a total dead end. So you've got to understand, they were at a crossroads. You had cloud AI on one side, which meant high costs, that frustrating lag time for users, and your data leaving your phone. And then on the other side, a totally different way of thinking, on-device AI, where everything, all the magic, happens right there on your phone. The big breakthrough here was this technology called Core ML, and what's so cool about it is the concept. It's basically Apple's framework that lets you pack the AI's brain directly into the app. Think about that. No more sending your photos out into the world, no more waiting for a server to get back to you. It's all right there, self-contained and totally instant. And you can just see the impact of that one decision. By bringing that AI onto the device, their costs just plummeted. The app went from slow to lightning fast, giving people instant results. And a huge plus, user data stayed completely private and secure on their own phones. This wasn't just some tiny tweak. This was a fundamental game changer that made the whole business actually work. All right, so the tech is solid now, but that's only half the battle, right? Now you face the next giant hurdle. How do you actually get people to download it? How do you fuel that viral growth when you're just one app in a sea of millions? This is where they got really smart. Instead of just burning cash on ads, they focused on building real, genuine partnerships with influencers, the ones in the health and wellness world. And we're not talking about those lame one-off sponsored posts. No, these influencers would do day-in-the-life videos showing how they actually used Cal AI in their daily routines. It felt real because it was. And man, it worked. And check out this quote from Zach, the founder. He says, "The decision to embrace on-device AI was a game changer. The partnership was invaluable." The key thing to notice here is how he connects the two. You need the right tech, for sure, but you also need the right team to make it happen.
So, what can we all learn from this? This is where we get to the heart of it, right? The app success playbook. These are the lessons you can take and apply to pretty much any app idea you've got rattling around in your head.
Basically, Cal AI's whole journey shows us three huge mistakes they fixed to really scale up. 1, they ditched that expensive, unsustainable cloud setup. 2, they stopped trying to market to everyone and went deep with specific niche communities. And 3, and this is huge, they created this tight feedback loop with their users, constantly improving what people actually wanted. And all of this really boils down to one of the biggest questions any founder has. How do you spend smart? How do you squeeze every last drop of value out of your development budget? Okay, now this slide, this is really interesting. It lays out a massive lever you can pull to control your budget. It's a straight-up comparison between hiring a team in the US versus an offshore team in a tech hub like Bangalore. Just look at the line for building your MVP, your minimum viable product. The cost can be less than half. It's just a stark difference. So what's the bottom line? It's incredible. By structuring your team in a smart way, you can save up to 60% on development. 60%. That's not just a little discount. That is a massive chunk of money you can pour right back into marketing, growth, and making your app even better. But building a great app is only half of it. People have to actually find it. And that's where something called App Store Optimization, or ASO, comes in. Just think of it like SEO before the App Store. Simple things like your app's title, the story your screenshots tell, even how you reply to reviews, all of it has a huge impact on whether people will ever even see your app. Okay, we've talked strategy, we've talked tech, we've talked marketing. Let's make this real. Let's make it tangible. Here is a blueprint, a 90-day plan to take you from just an idea in your head to a product out in the world. Those first 4 weeks are just a flat-out sprint. Week 1, you lock down your concept and the absolute must-have features for your MVP. Week 2, you're already into design and figuring out the tech architecture. Week 3, the coding starts. And by the end of week 4, boom, you've got an early version you can start testing. It's intense, for sure, but that's how you build momentum fast. So, there you have it. The playbook is on the table. We've seen how a personal problem, a smart tech pivot, clever growth tactics, and efficient spending built a business that brings in over $1 million a month. The path is actually pretty clear. So the only real question left is, what problem is your app going to solve?